Good morning everyone. Today I'm going to talk about things going wrong. That's not what you're supposed to talk about in academia. At least nobody really does, do they? And it's weird because you get this broad, oh yeah, we all have that, we all fail. But you hardly ever get anyone to admit anything more than that. And that's a bit odd, because if you start talking about it, then suddenly people admit that they failed as well. So why don't we just talk about it in the first place? Why is everyone so scared about that? I don't really know, is the answer. At least the answer I can give you. But I think it is important and helpful if we start talking about it. So, here's my confession. A lot of things went wrong. When I'm saying a lot went wrong, that means there's one experiment in my first year that will make it into my thesis, and I don't think there's any experiment in my second year that will make it into my thesis. As a PhD student, you are learning, and learning means making mistakes. And that just leads to experiments going wrong. There were a lot of things going wrong that I could have changed, or did change in the later experiments. There were a lot of things that were going wrong that I had no influence on, but I had to cope with it nonetheless. That's life. And how do I keep sane, and how do I still smile at the end of my PhD with all this failure on my back? Well, it's probably the approach to that. So I think one of the most important premises that I went into the PhD with, that kept me sane, is it is not the default for an experiment to go well. Let that sink in for a second. The first attempt is most likely to go wrong, actually, because there will be something that you didn't think about. You can plan a lot, and you can test a lot, and you can learn your methods properly, and it all will lead to less experiments being necessary until you have the final perfect setting. So you are confident that this experiment, the data, is valid. So that's great. That's already good, and but you can't find what you wanted to find. It's just not the same result. You just don't see differences. That is a bit annoying at first, I have to admit that. But it's also a chance. So now you can start digging. Now you can start trying to find an answer why this maybe is not the case, whatever you wanted to see. And that is the chance to find out something new. That is the place where the new ideas are born, So this is actually something to get a little bit excited about, rather than thinking, oh shit, I'm going to throw it all into the bin. And I think it's important that we talk about those struggles and failures and mishaps, because most academics struggle with imposter syndrome at some point in their career, or maybe at various points in their career. And why is that? Because we always only show the shiny data. Because there are some people that just look like they radiate confidence and they know everything. They are the super brains and their experiments always go well, and you're not up to that standard. But the truth is, they probably fail as much as you do. So if we all were a bit more honest about all the things that are going wrong, maybe we were all a bit more happy and less stressed. At least we could allow ourselves to breathe every now and again. Another good reason to actually talk about your problems, especially as a PhD student, is that you get help from others. Nobody's going to help you if you don't, right? So start telling people what your struggles are, even if you think they are like minor and you should be able to figure it out yourself. Sometimes just talking about them sparks some ideas. Sometimes the people that you talk to had the same problem and can just tell you, oh yeah, I had that, just do this and that, and then you're fine. It might be as easy as that. Maybe it's not, but then you have at least shared that you're struggling, and that sometimes helps a lot already. So dare to speak out about that. Dare to ask others for help. You are still learning, you deserve the help, it's fine. And I'm sure others will appreciate if somebody speaks up and just says, well, you know, I'm not perfect. Far away from that, actually. But I want to learn. I want to get better. That's why we're here, aren't we? So, what can you take away from this? Well, first of all, we really all struggle. And maybe it's worthwhile asking people about their struggles and how they dealt with them, because that might give you an idea how you want to deal with them the next time. And then start talking about it. Make it a bit easier for the next ones coming in, because they will be at the same point you are right now. And lastly, learn from them. Stay curious. So if it's technical issues that went wrong in your experiment, well, learn from it, do it better next time. And if technically everything went well and your data is just not what you wanted, well, try and learn from that as well. Try and ask new questions. That's exciting. Try and take it with a positive approach. Try and see what you can gain from the situation. And then I'm sure you can go through your PhD with a smile as well. I'll see you again tomorrow, and until then, keep smiling.